The Greater Brixton Street Wetlands are around 175 hectares. I actually first started working in this section here, which is it's actually a Class A nature reserve, and it's around 17 hectares. And I guess I became involved through the Wildflower Society back in the early 90s actually, so as a volunteer doing flora surveys in here. And then I actually had a position with the department, well the position I'm in now, and this is actually one of the sites that's a demonstration site for the Urban Nature Program, and so we look at trying to demonstrate best practice management. The wetlands here are a threatened ecological community, as are the Marri woodlands. So most of these kinds of wetlands have actually been cleared on the Swan Coastal Plain, and there's only around or less than 10% of the area actually remaining. And they're incredibly diverse places. So within this 175 hectare area, there's around 500 species of plants, and there's 3 or 4 that occur nowhere else. And I just think that's quite remarkable given that we're 20 minutes from the centre of town.
And we got involved with this through the Waterbird Conservation Group many years ago. What happened is that this was going to have Homes West housing on it, and seeing as Trevor, myself, we just live over in Kenwick, so Joan said, well, that can be your part of things. And then we took it upon ourselves. We used to come and pick up rubbish and try and advertise what days we'd be here to pick up rubbish, and then we formed a friends group and we became incorporated in 1994, I think.
And it's that consistency over time that leads to effective management of these sites, people that know and understand the threats and can consistently manage those over time. And so yeah, the Friends have been really instrumental in Brixton Street, particularly in the A-Class Nature Reserve, being a really a reasonably intact example of these wetlands.
We just get here and work all year round. December, January, right, we do every month. And even if we don't work, we come and have a cup of tea and tell the place we love it and we're thinking of it, you know, and pick up the odd thing. And like I said, we're very lucky because we've got a really good friends group, great people, you know.
3 or 4 years ago, one of the botanical consultants turned up a Tylotus species that hadn't been collected for 165 years up in the Greater Brixton Street Wetlands. Over the last 4 or 5 years, we've added a number of species to the flora list for the area, so we're still learning about this site, even though it's particularly well studied for areas on the coastal plain.
I just love it. I just love the smell of it, and all year round, you know. It's got a special smell wintertime, summertime, and without fail you can come here any day of the year and you'll find something flowering. Even right in February, you know, in the heat, you'll still find a poor little fringe lily trying its hardest. You know, when it happened that it got passed through Parliament that wasn't going to have Homes West on it, Trevor brought me down at night time. We came down to say g'day to the bush and tell it the good news.